ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायापतये नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। So Hari Om and salutations to all. Our topic for today is Shri Ram, the ideal friend. Two friends Bhagwan Ram specifically had, about whom we will discuss today. The first one is Guha. In the Balkand it comes, not Balkand, sorry, Ayodhya Kand, that Guha is the tribal chief. He is Nishad Raj Guha. See, the boatman is different. In the Tulsi Ramayana, we have a separate boatman who is the Kevat and Nishad Raj who is separate. In Valmiki Ramayana also, Nishad Raj is separate and he has many people who are also boatmen who take people across the Gangaji. So he is the chief of that entire group, the tribal people there. That's why he's called Nishad Raj. And when Bhagwan left the Ayodhya, and a lot of Ayodhyavasis also came behind him, they rested one night on the banks of Tamasa river, and then Bhagwan told Sumantra early morning, before everybody wakes up, leave. And leave in such a way that the chariot marks are made in such a way that Ayodhyavasis can't know where Bhagwan Ram went. They will get confused. So finally they left early morning and they reached the place called Shringverpur. Shringverpur is where Nishad Raj stays, and Nishad Raj had come to know that Bhagwan has been exiled and he is on his way to the forest. So he was ready. And Bhagwan, when he went there, on the outskirts, Shringverpur outskirts, Nishad Raj was ready, Guha was ready, and he welcomed Bhagwan. Bhagwan went and embraced him and he offered lot of food and porridge, kheer, many things he brought for Bhagwan. And he said, I am so blessed that I could have your darshan, and you have yourself, you have come here. So you think about it, Bhagwan did not have this differentiation that, I am a prince and I am a royal family, and this Guha is a tribal person. First rule of friendship, I should not say rule, the first aspect of friendship is we appreciate who the person is. We don't condemn them or ridicule them or insult them because of their economic status. See, Sudama was also extremely poor, and Bhagwan Krishna is the king. But when friends meet, they are equals. External position, external appearance, external wealth, they have only a certain limitation, but one should not think of oneself superior, or one should not feel that, I will mix only with certain type of elite class of people, they are my standard, others are all lower than me. Then that friendship is not a good friendship. Because we don't value the person for who the person is. We are judging that person only for what they have. And life is such that suddenly the poor person also with great hard work can become rich, and rich person also suddenly can become poor. So it is not the wealth that really should be considered while making friendship. It should be the qualities of the person, appreciation of the person, what are the goals, what are the emotions, attitudes of the person. With that, one should connect. So Guha, Bhagwan had no hesitation. He must have met Guha earlier when he was studying in the Gurukul. And so he was a friend. Valmiki Ramayana doesn't elaborate on the background, but it's just our assumption. So when Bhagwan met Guha, he was extremely happy. Now please think, that is another point to understand about friendship. Bhagwan Ram is going through tremendous amount of challenges. He has been exiled, kingdom has been taken away from him. Ayodhya Vasis who loved him so much, he had to leave them behind. And now he has to live in forest for 14 years. So much pain he will be going through, and his mind would be already disturbed. But when he meets his friend, it doesn't even show on the face. He meets his friend, the friend is sad for him, Bhagwan consoles him. Lakshmanji also consoles him. And the friend feels happy, he welcomes him, Guha welcomes him with elaborate things, whatever they are able to, the best they give. That is the third aspect in friendship. We must give our best to our friends, not hold back. Where there is love, there we want to give, we want to serve. So Guha brought the best he can. And he also invited Bhagwan, ki you please come and stay with us in our home. I am the king of these tribals, and please come and stay with me. And Bhagwan politely said that, I am on an oath. I have to be living as an ascetic, and I can't live in any comforts. So I can't enter any town, city, kingdom. I have to live only in forest, in the nature. That's the promise that my father has given to my mother Kaikeyi. So Bhagwan doesn't go inside, and he stays on the outskirts. There is a big tree called Ingudi tree. Ingudi is, in English they call it as the desert dates. So Bhagwan sleeps below that. Sita ji and Lakshman ji, they make a seat of kusha grass, and Bhagwan rests there. And Lakshman, Guha tells Lakshman ji that you also take rest. Lakshman ji says, no, I know you are capable of taking care of all of us, protecting us. But when Bhagwan is sleeping, I am his servant. I have to do my duty. So Lakshman ji and Guha, they have a conversation, and whole night they spend, where Lakshman ji tells Guha about everything is a play of destiny and it is karma, so don't blame anybody, etc. Next morning, Bhagwan calls Guha and he says, please get for me the milk of the bark of milk of the banyan tree. You know why he wants that milk of the banyan tree? He takes that milk and he applies on his long hair. Those days even men used to have long hair. He applies on his hair and he ties the jata out of it. That for 14 years now, the jata will be like this. That is called tapas vesh. So with that milk of the banyan tree, he and Lakshmanji, in presence of Guha, Sumantra, all the others, they apply it on the head and they tie the hair in the form of an ascetic. So that is another aspect about friendship. What is that? See, Bhagwan could have tied that in his palace only. But he comes to the forest, he tells Guha, give me this. So he told Guha, I cannot accept any hospitality in the home because I can't enter the city, but I will be happy if you bring fruits because I have to live on fruits. And if you feed these horses, so give what is the best food required for the horses and let me have some fruits. And next day morning, he asks for this milk of the banyan tree. So Guha also feels that I could serve Bhagwan in some way and I could help him in some way, that he needed something and he took from me. He specifically asked this from me. So see, fruits and all that is regular hospitality. But Bhagwan tied his hair with the milk given by Guha, and his hair would be like that for the next 14 years. that would remind him of Guha also, and Guha also will remember that Bhagwan went through this way and he took this from me. And then Guha arranges for the travel of Bhagwan across the Gangaji. The boatmen take Bhagwan across. So this is one aspect about Bhagwan's friendship with Guha, and certain aspects about friendship that we learn from there. Now, one thing about friendship here is this, that both of them, they know each other and they have love for each other and they are friends, equals. One is from a royal family, other is from a tribal family, but both of them, they treat each other, especially Bhagwan looks at him as an equal. He doesn't look at him as any lesser. Now we come to the second friend, who is Sugriv. So Sugriv became friends with Bhagwan for a certain fulfillment of a purpose. The first friendship was not for any specific purpose, it's general, nice friendship it is. But Sugriv became friends with Bhagwan because he wanted his kingdom back and he wanted his wife back. And he wanted that Vali should be given a punishment. So he was in need. And Bhagwan also was in need. Bhagwan wanted some help to find Sita ji. So there it is born out of this aspect of both of them are requiring something from the other. So there is a mutual benefit that each one will derive from the other. That is the basis of that friendship. Of course, it develops into much more after that, but it begins like that. So when Bhagwan Ram and Lakshman ji are going around searching for Sita ji, Sugriv sees, who are these two young people with bow and arrow in this forest? And Sugriv is very scared that, he thinks that Vali must have sent them to kill me. And he's so scared, he doesn't even want to go near them. He sends Hanumanji. And Hanumanji has taken the vesh of a Brahmana, and he goes and he introduces himself and he tells about this background of Sugriv, and he asks Bhagwan about him, that who are you, princess, from where have you come? So the way in which Hanumanji speaks, Bhagwan really compliments him. If you can go through that part of Kishkinda Kand where Hanumanji introduces himself and Sugriv to Bhagwan, and where Bhagwan compliments him on his communication skills. He says, you are well, just from the way Hanumanji spoke, Bhagwan tells him, Bhagwan tells Lakshman that this person is very well versed in study of Vedas. This person has great communication skills. He speaks short. He speaks important words. He does not waste any words. And he is very fluent. His grammar is perfect. Many things, there's humility, a lot of things he says. Those are very nice points for communication skills. So Hanumanji, when he tells him that I am the minister of Sugriv, and he narrates the background, Lakshmanji tells about Bhagwan Ram, that we are from we are princess from the Ayodhya, and this is what has happened, and Sita ji has been kidnapped by somebody and we are searching her. So finally Hanumanji takes them both to Sugriv. When they meet each other, they instantly strike a friendship. In Valmiki Ramayana, that portion comes very nicely in this Kishkinda Kand. And who has told Hanumanji, who has told them to seek Sugriv? Kabandha, he was a Rakshas. Bhagwan killed Kabandha and released him from a curse. And it was Kabandha who came in his celestial form and he said, Bhagwan, please go and meet Sugriv and he will help you to find Sita ji. So Bhagwan also knew that, Sugriv is the person I have to befriend. So he goes there and he meets Sugriv. Sugriv tells him the whole story, that how Vali has misunderstood Sugriv, and Vali was challenged by this by this demon called Mayavi. And chasing that demon Mayavi, Vali went into the cave. And for 1 whole year, Sugriv was waiting outside the cave. And tremendous sounds of fighting were coming from inside. After 1 year, suddenly the sound stopped and there was a stream of blood flowing out of the cave. And Sugriv got very scared. He thought, oh God, Vali has been killed and this Mayavi is not going to spare us. He took a huge boulder and he placed it on the entrance of the cave. And he went back and he told everybody Vali is dead. See, his intention was not that he wanted to take away the kingdom. Out of fear, he concluded that Vali is only dead. Vali got very angry. He saw that, this cave was blocked. So what did he do? With all his might, he pushed away the stone and he came. By the time Sugriv has been made the king, Vali got angry saying this Sugriv wanted to take away my kingdom and he tried to kill me by putting the stone there. And he was so angry that he did not even listen to the reasoning given by Sugriv. And he took away the kingdom. He took away the wife of Sugriv. Roma is her name. Ruma is the name. And what happened? He was going to kill Sugriv. So Sugriv went around everywhere. Finally, it was Hanumanji who said that there is one place where where Vali cannot come, and that is the Rishyamukh mountain. And there you please come and stay, because Matanga Rishi has cursed Vali that he cannot stay in this place, Rishyamukh Parvat. So finally Sugriv comes and stays in Rishyamukh Parvat. And so he told all this backstory to Bhagwan Ram. And Bhagwan Ram promised him that, yes, I will help you out to regain your wife and the kingdom. So Sugriv was happy, saying, Chalo, I have somebody to be with me. He was feeling nervous. He did not know what to do. He was hiding from Vali. He was so scared he can't leave Rishyamukh and go anywhere. In a way, this Sugriv was under lockdown. He was in lockdown in Rishyamukh Parvat. He can't leave the Rishyamukh Parvat only. Because if he comes out of there, Vali will kill him. So he was tired of this lockdown. So many of you must be tired. Oh God, we can't go out, we can't play, we can't go to school, we can't, go out to the beach, anywhere, nowhere, just sit at home full time. Imagine Sugriv, for years he was staying only at Rishyamukh Parvat. So when he got the friendship of Bhagwan Ram, he was very happy. Immediately he went inside his place of stay and he brought one cloth. He brought one, what do we call? I don't know in English what do you call? Potli you call, no? In the cloth they tie everything and they bring. So he brought one and he opened and it had some jewels. He said, some days back we saw some Asura taking one woman away and we were sitting on this mountain and she was crying for help and she threw some of this looking at us and we gathered and we have safely kept. Do you know whose these are? Are these belonging to your wife? And Bhagwan Ram looked at them and he broke down. He was in tears saying, Arey, these are belonging to Sita. And Lakshmanji, he could recognize only one of those jewels. And what was that? Only the anklets. He doesn't know necklace, he doesn't know earrings. Because he always served the feet of Mother Sita, he never bothered about anything else. So he says, yes, these anklets belong to her. So Sugriv said, I also promise that I will ensure that you will get Mother Sita and I will do my best for it. So now both of them have promised each other. Now see, one very important thing here is this. In friendship, one must have confidence in the friend also. Sugriv, his fear was more powerful, so he did not have enough confidence in Bhagwan Ram. He wanted to test Bhagwan Ram. So in Rishyamukh Parvat, there was a huge skeleton of a demon called Dundubhi. This Dundubhi was the son of Mayavi. When Mayavi got killed, this Dundubhi came to Vali to challenge him and to take revenge. And Vali killed him. He was in the form of a huge buffalo. So Vali killed him and threw away his carcass. That huge carcass, the skeleton of this buffalo, fell in this Rishyamukh Parvat, which is the area where Matanga Rishi's ashram is. So Matanga Rishi had cursed Vali that you can't come here. You have spoiled my place. If you step here, you will die. So that huge skeleton was there. So Sugriv wanted to test Bhagwan Ram. Now think about it. Sometimes, people who are our friends, they don't have enough confidence in us, and we may have to prove our strength to them. So Bhagwan Ram didn't say, what are you talking? Do you know who I am? Who are you to, test my strength? If you want to test my strength, come fight with me. Nothing. Bhagwan was humble. With one kick, he sent out that Dundubhi skeleton far away. You know what Sugriv said? That was only a skeleton, very light. What is a big deal in that? Sometimes we also tell the friends, that is so easy. Now do this and show. No, we challenge our friends sometimes like that. So Sugriv was also like that. He said, oh, that is just empty skeleton. If it was filled with flesh and all that, then still understandable. But empty skeleton, I also can kick. Pierce one tree, one sal tree. Sal tree is supposed to be very huge and thick. He says, with your arrow, pierce one sal tree and show. Let us see how much power you have. He is challenging Bhagwan himself. Saying one sal tree you pierce and show. What Bhagwan did, he took the arrow and he shot. And that arrow pierced how many sal trees? 7 of them. Try doing even one. It is not easy to pierce one tree. And you think about the force with which the 7 can be pierced, because if the arrow which comes in a specific velocity hits one tree, pierces, it will get stuck there. To pierce all the 7 and finally arrow comes back to Bhagwan's quiver. What an amount of strength that is amazing. Even today I am telling you, you shoot one bullet, that bullet can't go through 7 sal trees. It will hit 1 or 2 and then that's it. That's about it, because the speed will stop. And if that speed stops, then that's it. It can't travel further. 7 sal trees, one shot Bhagwan hits and it pierces all and comes back into the quiver. Then Sugriv says, yes. This is unbelievable. I did not know you are so powerful. You are looking so ordinary, but you are so strong. So always don't judge people on their externalities. They may have great qualities. We should learn to appreciate the inner beauty and strength of the person. So Sugriv was then confident that, okay, now at least there is somebody who is equal to Vali. Do you know Vali was the most powerful person of that time? Vali had defeated Ravan also. Ravan has defeated all the Devatas and everyone, but Vali is one who defeated Ravan. Not only defeated Ravan, he held Ravan in his armpit. And Ravan was so, like one mosquito, he was in front of Vali. Imagine 10-headed Ravan, he's like a mosquito in front of Vali, and this Vali was holding him in his armpit and they was strangling him. And Ravan was begging, please, leave me, I won't come anywhere near you, please save me, help me. And Vali just left him like, go somewhere. And he threw him from Kishkinda. This fellow was thrown. He landed up in Lanka. Thap, he fell there. That powerful was Vali. So this Sugri was very terrified that, this Ram, whether he will be able to do or not. See, he didn't have confidence. He thought that if Ram may not do anything, then I will not get kingdom, but then I have to search for Sita. So that is not fair. Now Bhagwan Ram proved himself. So what happened now? Bhagwan Ram told him, you go and challenge this Vali. So he said, you go and challenge this Vali for a combat, Gada Yuddha. Sugri went happily, Are Gada Yuddha, and he said, Vali, if you have any manliness, come and fight with me. I am here to challenge you to a duel. This Vali started thinking, what happened to this fellow? All the time he was running everywhere, escaping from me. There is something else why this fellow has come up with this kind of a attitude. Anyway, he said, doesn't matter. I am very powerful. So he goes and he fights and he beats this Sugriv black and blue, and Sugriv literally has to run away from there. He saves his life and he runs away from there. And panting, he finally comes back to Rishyamukh and he says, Hare, I trusted you, Ram. What is this? This fellow has almost beaten me to death. I can't get up now. What is my condition? Look at me. What have you done? You pierced 7 sal trees, but you couldn't hide behind a tree and kill this Vali. What happened? Bhagwan Ram said, you didn't tell me full information. You didn't tell me you both look alike. You told everything else, but main information you forgot. You both look alike. How do I know? And by mistake, if I release an arrow and you are killed, then Sugriv said, oh yes, that is true. After all, I am a monkey. So he said, oh, sorry, I didn't know. I didn't tell you. My mistake. Bhagwan said, okay, don't worry now. Tomorrow go again. Sugriv said, oh God, again, tomorrow? No, I can't do this. He said, no, you go. I am assuring you nothing will happen. And he tells Lakshmanji, you give him one garland. It is called Gajapushpi. Gajapushpi is a creeper. Lakshmanji tells him that uproot a blossomed Gajapushpi creeper and tie it on Sugriv's neck for identification. Then I will know that this is Sugriv. Now Sugriv went again. Again he was bombastic. He is saying, Arey, yesterday, I was not in my full form. Today you come now, I am going to crush you like a mosquito today. You don't think that you have won. So what if yesterday you bet me? And he went and challenged. Now this Vali got very angry. But his wife Tara, she had done her homework. So she told Vali that, look, this fellow is not challenging you just like that. There is this prince of Ayodhya who is behind him. Because of that strength, he is challenging you, and you be careful. Don't go to fight with him. Vali doesn't listen. See, both these, Vali and Ravan, they are so arrogant, they did not take advice of their own wives. Mandodari also advised Ravan, and Tara also advised Vali. They didn't listen. When we have very big ego, we don't listen to others, and then we fall. So Vali went. And again the fight happened, and Sugriv is no match to Vali. Sugriv again starts beating him up, and Vali is like, oh God, today once again, I'm going to die. But at that time, swiftly Bhagwan leaves one arrow, and that arrow straight hits the heart of Vali. And this Vali is exhausted and is almost killed. But do you know that Vali had a chain from Indra, a golden chain? In Valmiki Ramayana it comes. He has a golden chain in his neck given by Indra. And Vali is supposed to be the son of Indra. Sugriv is son of Surya. So this Vali had that chain, and as long as that chain is there, he won't die. That is what is mentioned here in Valmiki Ramayana. In some other Ramayans, it is mentioned that Vali had a boon that whoever fights with him, half the power of, Vali of that opponent will come back to him. So that is in some other versions. Here it is clear that Vali had a chain, and that chain, as long as it is there, he won't die. So nobody can kill Vali directly by itself. But Bhagwan Ram's arrow completely destroys, his body, and his heart is pierced, and he has fallen down, and he complains to Bhagwan saying, "You are such a coward, you could not come in front of me and kill me. Why did you do this?" Bhagwan says, Kishkinda comes under Ayodhya, and I am representing Ayodhya, King Bharat. You have done adharma. You have taken away the kingdom of Sugriv. You have taken away his wife, and you have done adharma. So this is your punishment. So he says, but for that you should have challenged me coming in front, and you should have waged a war with me. Bhagwan said, you already did adharma. Point 1. Point 2, you have an unfair advantage that nobody can kill you because of the chain that you are wearing. So there is no need of for me to stay, come in front of you only and fight. This is my strategy. You should have been alert, and your wife already warned you. So you were aware of my presence. Then Vali says, but I am an animal. Your rules of kingdom, etc., don't apply to me. We are animals. We can have we don't have a formal marriage and all that, and we can take anybody as our wife, or we can, the survival of the fittest is the rule in animals. So Bhagwan says, okay, if you are an animal, then an animal can be hunted from behind a tree. There's nothing wrong in that. So Vali finally gets convinced. And Vali says, I accept what you say is true, and I'm blessed to die at your divine hands. I have only one request, is please take care of my son Angad. And he takes Angad's hand and keeps it in the hands of Bhagwan Ram. And then he tells Sugriv that take away my golden chain. So when Sugriv takes out that golden chain, then Vali drops dead. Now, at this point is very interesting one thing that happens. The funeral of Vali is arranged. Angad and Sugriv and Tara and everybody arranged the funeral of Vali. Sugriv wants to die in that fire. Tara also wants to jump in that fire. So people convince Tara that don't do that. You have to take care of Angad. You should not leave your body with your husband. So Tara agrees. And it is Bhagwan Ram who consoles Sugriv, saying, no, why should you kill? Why should you die in this fire? You have not done anything wrong, because Sugriv was feeling very guilty that, after all, my brother, and he got killed. He has love for his brother, and he got killed, and I am responsible for it. So he was feeling a lot of guilt. This is another beautiful aspect of the friendship, that Bhagwan helps Vali, helps Sugriv to come out of this sense of guilt. He says, what you did was righteous, what Vali did was unrighteous, and this is the result of his actions that he has got. Don't feel guilty. It is not that you are responsible for this. Like Arjun was feeling guilty that, I will be responsible to kill my own people. Like that, Vali was feeling guilty that my people have died, my brother has died because of me. So Bhagwan Ram consoles him, and he finally tells Sugriv that you have a lot of work to do, you have a kingdom to take care of, and you have a promise to keep. So get on with it. So look ahead. So a friend is one who helps the other friend in difficult times, in emotionally turbulent times, to find strength, to find balance, to look ahead, look for the future, and not to, dwell in the past. So now, when Vali was killed, Hanumanji tells Bhagwan Ram, please come and stay in Kishkindha in the kingdom. Again, Bhagwan Ram says, no, I cannot come and stay in any kingdom. I have to stay in the forest only. So he goes and stays in a place in a mountain called Prashravana mountain. And now the rainy season has started. So 4 months will pass in that. In those 4 months, Bhagwan was very sad that we can't search for Sita ji now. And this Vali, this Sugriv also became very indulgent. At some point, Hanumanji tells him that, you have a promise to keep. Bhagwan kept his promise, but you have to keep your promise. So Sugriv recognizes that, yes, I have to do that. So he says, okay, send Neel to go to various places and send messengers and tell all the monkeys to assemble. And having said that, again Sugriv gets back to his enjoyment, indulgence, and he forgets everything. Finally, Bhagwan Ram sends Lakshman. Lakshman is very angry when he sees that, Sugriv is enjoying and he is not bothered about Bhagwan Ram and finding Sita ji. And Bhagwan Ram there is so upset. So he gets very angry. And when he enters, before he enters only, as he was on the way, so many monkeys looking at him, they get scared. So the news has reached Hanumanji and the ministers. Hanumanji tells Sugriv that, look, you have to do something very quickly now. The rainy season is coming to an end. And Sugriv, he is still drunk. He is not understanding what has to be done. Finally, Lakshmanji enters that palace. And he had a bow, so he, the bow, with that bow, he makes a sound, what we call the string, he twang, what it is called. He makes the sound with the string of the bow. And this fellow is very scared. He doesn't come to face Lakshmanji. He sends Tara, and Tara convinces Lakshmanji that Neel has been sent, and in 10 days' time, all the monkeys are going to gather and everybody is going to be here. Lakshmanji listens to all that. He straight away barges in and he fires Sugriv like anything. He insults him. He tells him in his anger that, I will kill you and what have you done, and you have caused pain to my master and all that. Sugriv also says, oh, I am very sorry. I got, completely carried away in enjoyment. I understand the pain of Bhagwan Ram. Please forgive me. I will do everything possible. Finally, Hanumanji mediates between both of them. Lakshmanji also gets consoled, and he tells Sugriv that, all right, sorry, I also insulted you badly, but that was the anger that I had. Now let us get on with our work. So Sugriv calls everyone and he dispatches 4 teams in different directions. If you can read Valmiki Ramayana, Gita Press Valmiki Ramayana is exact translation of verses. Beautiful it is. The description that Sugriv gives is very amazing. 4 teams he sends in 4 different directions. So one team he sends in south, that is led by Hanumanji. Another team he sends in the east, and he describes the mountains even in the northeast, in Meghalaya and all that. In the west he sends and he tells them to go up to Afghanistan. In the north he sends a team, he describes about the Mount Meru and the Himalayas, etc. So the 4 teams, when they are dispatched, Bhagwan Ram appreciates his knowledge of geography of the earth. It's very beautiful there. He says, how do you know the entire earth like this? And you know what Sugriv replies? He says, it is because when Vali was chasing me, I ran everywhere to be free from him. I was running out of fear everywhere. And while I was running, I came to know so many of these places. That's how I have knowledge of geography. So finally, Bhagwan accepts what Sugriv has done, and we know the rest of the story. I will end with last one incident. You know, when they cross the oceans and they reach Lanka, they have set up a camp outside Lanka. And one day, Bhagwan Ram, Sugriv, Lakshmanji, Jambavan, Hanuman, the main people, they go closer to the fort of Lanka to see how is this Lanka and what can be our strategy to attack. At that time, you know, Ravan comes out of his palace and he is in the balcony. When Sugriv found that this fellow is Ravan, you know what he did? He's a monkey after all. He leapt so quickly and he jumped and straight landed up in front of Ravan. Because he thought, if I kill Ravan, finished, battle is over, nothing more to be done. But in his, you know, he was so angry with Ravan that, you know, how dare this fellow has taken Mother Sita. In that impulsiveness, he jumped and he landed in front of Ravan. And what did Ravan do? Bet him black and blue again and threw him literally, because he didn't know that this is Sugriv and king of monkeys. He thought, what, this fellow monkey has come here like this. He bet him and he threw him down, and Sugriv fell with such a terrible pain. And Bhagwan Ram said, who told you to do this? You should apply some vivek. Why have you done this? No, I'm sorry, you know, but I couldn't resist myself, and he took away Sita ji, and how dare he do that? And he put all of us in trouble like that. So I couldn't resist. So Bhagwan says, don't worry, next time be alert. Don't get carried away by emotions like this. Otherwise, your life will be in danger. Already you got escaped from Ravan now. Next time, be very alert. So again, Bhagwan Ram saved his life. So these are some very nice aspects of friendship of Sugriv and Bhagwan Ram. Finally, Bhagwan takes all the monkeys with him after Ravan is killed in Pushpak Viman. He tells the Devatas, every single monkey who has died, bring them all to life. So all the monkeys who died for Bhagwan, they all came back to life. And Bhagwan took everybody in that Pushpak Viman to Ayodhya for his coronation. So friends' quality is that we should be there with our friends for the difficult times to help them out, and also include them in our good times, in our celebrations. And Bhagwan didn't, it was not a business deal for Bhagwan anymore. Okay, I helped you, you help me, you go back to Kishkinda, I go back to Ayodhya. No. He took all of them there, and he also ensured that when they depart from there, he gave gifts to all of them. These are some nice qualities about friendship that we can learn from Bhagwan Ram.